flag! Open flag!
Welcome. I'm Chris McKean.
And I'm Andy Kiner.
We're all about cross-country racing, and usually it starts with 10 seconds.
But not in Iowa. In Iowa, it starts with hands-on helmets.
Oh, man, and we got to see that 22 times this past
22
weekend.
times. Oh, yes. Yep.
Man, short-term memory.
Well, I'm still thinking about the 90 classes in those hands-on helmets. Every time they took off, I'm like, man, the adults we should make it where the adults have to be down there to watch them kids take off. All the adults could learn something the way those kids start.
Mm-hmm.
Was it like 60? There's like 60 90s on the line in there.
No, there's 27.
27.
Old 90s, as we like to refer them these days.
90 senior.
90 senior. I mean,
somebody said that to me, I don't know, last week or at the track on. I think I said that once during the race. It's like, seems funny saying 90 senior, but
I mean, yeah, not much we can do. 27 and then 16. So, yeah, we can start with them. I mean, we got a lot to talk about. We've got a couple guests on tonight as well, but yeah, that 90 stock is just really blown up again this year.
It has.
We thought we had a good handle.
I started counting until I ran out of hands on that youth session, the first one. 63 kids, Chris. 63. Yeah. Holy cow, that was awesome. You realize that's more than we used to have before COVID total?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Unbelievable.
And then, awesome. If I recall, I think it was like 31 for the minis.
30, yep. With a total of...
Excuse me, no, 29. I apologize.
29. I knew you were wrong. I just didn't want to point it out. Oh. It's awful early in here yet.
I know. Thanks.
It ends up with 93 in my head.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
93 kids. We're only 7 off of our goal.
142 adults.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So good numbers.
Yeah, and I think I only waited on scoring once this weekend at the starting line.
What?
I think it was just once. I know you're as surprised as I
am. Oh.
Yeah, what you're saying?
You were not waiting on us. No.
Just waiting for the call.
Oh, yeah. It was a little tight. Yeah. But we managed before you're done talking.
Ready. I kept looking at my watch, seeing how much longer I had to talk. That was a problem.
Sure. Got a lot to pack in on those race days. I think really got to show the importance to get registered on time. I mean, we have that hour cutoff before each race that we need people to follow that rule, and we can start. We started on time, but everybody can be ready and in place and have the little things that we have to do done.
Yeah. And I think everybody did a pretty good job of getting down there. Mm-hmm. This time it seemed like they were late just because we had so much to talk about, but people didn't know that, Yeah. I just beg everybody to try to be there at least, a quarter till so we can get done and get started on time. But yeah, nobody really knew how much stuff we had to talk about this time with some of the situations going on. So,
yeah.
But most part, it was pretty cool. Everybody was getting lined up early and getting down there, and it was It was a good time. I thought everybody handled it really well.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, we could get into more of those details a little bit later. How about we go ahead and bring on our first guest?
Wow, that was quick. Must be a special one.
I mean, I want to be respectful of his time, so we can bring him on and he can share with us his opinions and answer a few questions. Without further ado, Justin Murray, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no problem. It's an honor.
Sorry, Justin. I was trying to do a drum roll for you. I'm still working on the fun stuff like that.
You know I will say. Yeah, we'll continue to work on that for you.
Yeah. Yep. Just I appreciate it, Chris. We're just once again, I think we're just talking about this, Justin, weren't we? You're seeing how I'm always waiting, right?
I know, it's horrible.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's right when we have arguments like this about who's late, who's this, and then stuff like this comes up. And I mean, I may be bold when I say this, but it just seems like Andy's always right,
All right.
Justin,
Yeah,
thanks
Justin.
for coming on. I appreciate it, man. I know Chris didn't let you know till last second, but we do appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate the opportunity to come do this. This is kind of neat. So,
yeah, very cool. Are you okay with Chris being a part of this, or do you want me to take him off for a little while?
I suppose we'll let him, stick around.
Okay.
Yeah, we were talking while we were waiting for you to join. Yeah, earlier. So, Justin, how long have you been racing?
Since last fall. So I did my first race last fall in the FDXCR series, and then I just did the Murray race last year. So
cool. Justin, before we get started, I just want to make sure I take a second and thank Jason Mickelson, Century 21, for this Rider Spotlight. If you happen to know of anybody that's needing a house or looking at buying one, or friends or something, we want to let you guys know right now that I want to sell a house for Mickelson this year. So if anybody sells a house, meaning you recommend Jason to somebody or you buy a house, let everybody know, because we're going to make sure that you get a race for a whole year for free. So it's not a huge incentive, but it's one of those incentives to a race family for helping take care of somebody that's really stepping up. It's been a part of the series for a long time, and we just want to thank Jason and his whole team at Century 21. So with that being said, Chris, why don't you just go right ahead? I'll split. You go once and I'll go once. How's that? This is all new to us, Justin. We're just brand new at this.
Yes, we are very new, very prepared. So you raced this past weekend, and what class did you race in?
Well, that's two questions right there. We're only doing 10.
Yeah, I'm going to do a few.
Oh, that was 2 in one shot. Okay.
Say that again. What was that?
What class did you race in this past weekend?
C16 to 25.
And how'd you do?
I got first. So
it's your first win, right? Out of 3 races with us, right? We talked previously that you started last year at Murray, you were at Trenton, and then now Fort Dodge. Which out of the 3 that you've experienced so far, we still have 4 more different tracks maybe to look at. What is your favorite track so far?
By far, this one that we did this past weekend. It was just such a fun mix of woods, and then you got to go across the dirt track and the motocross track. It was just such a large variety of things that just made it a blast.
Cool. Was scoring better at this one, or was it just the track?
Just the track.
Okay, yeah. That wasn't a question. That was just interest. My turn?
Was that your question?
No, it was not. Because I was just getting ready to ask him because I actually met Justin. We just met a week ago, probably.
Yep.
First time I knew you were there the first one, but I didn't get to talk to you. So tell me something like outside of racing. What's your hobbies outside of racing?
Fishing, riding. I just enjoy working on four-wheelers altogether. So it was more of just a hobby working on four-wheelers before I started racing. So
cool. Yeah. So if I had to ask you, what movie best describes your life?
Oof. I don't know. That'd be a tough one.
Yeah. Mine would be train wreck, since my co-host here.
I don't even know what I'd say for that.
What's your favorite movie?
Oh, you just put me on the spot.
It's going to be like this. 20 more questions.
Right, 1917. That war movie that came out a couple of years ago. That was a good movie.
Very cool. Yeah. So what's on your bucket list?
Racing the GNCC race.
Gotcha.
That's one thing I think it'd be awesome to do.
Very cool. You let me keep going, Chris? Or are you going to jump in here?
Oh, go ahead. You're fine.
All right. So I'm going to try to think of something maybe Chris would ask you. If you had three famous people, if you could pick three famous people, who would you want to have dinner with?
Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura, and Joe Rogan.
Okay. I know Joe Rogan. Now help me with the other two.
Both comedians.
Oh, okay. Kind of like Chris.
No.
Yeah. Yep.
Thanks.
Gotcha.
I'm going to be on his bad side by the end of this.
So you mentioned three celebrities. Who's your favorite celebrity? Do you have a favorite?
Probably Tom Segura, one of those comedians.
Yep. Very cool. So you're obviously into racing, so this might help, but let's just say you won $1 million today. What's the first three things that you would buy?
Whew. A brand new enclosed trailer, a brand new pickup, and a brand new four-wheeler.
Okay.
That's a racer for you. I like that.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Man.
So
I want to know what hidden talent do you have?
Oh, I don't know. Hidden talent. I'm flexible. I guess that's the best at. That helped a lot in high school wrestling.
Okay.
You wrestled, huh?
Yeah, that saved a lot of joints.
Yeah. What weight did you wrestle?
132 pounds and 126.
Nice. Chris, we're going to get off subject for a while. We're talking wrestling.
I know. I can see where you went.
Cool. So, are you you listen to a lot of music?
Yeah.
So, if you could pick one song to play every time that you walked into a room, what would it be?
Probably AC/DC TNT.
That's probably got to be the number one picked song. You know what I mean?
How could you walk in anything else?
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. Chris will have something.
I'm gonna play nice.
Chris, while we're asking, let me ask you the same thing. What instead of walking your room though, you walk out to the garage, you jump in the Prius, you push play. What's it gonna play?
I don't know. Don't have a Prius.
Oh, come on. Don't play this game. What would play for you? You jumped in the car.
I don't know. I like some old Johnny Cash or something like that.
Yeah. I can see that. Gotcha. It's kind of fun to pick on Chris a little bit and find out a little bit about you too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know that yours would probably be what, This Girl's on Fire, something like that.
Nice. That's nice. I like that. This Girl's on Fire. Oh, that'd be like the second song. But...
So yeah.
All right.
So
what do you think when you're going down the car or going down the road, driving in the car, maybe going to a race? What's going through your mind? What are you thinking about?
How I can improve for this race, or just thinking about how I did and how I can improve on it. Thinking about what I did wrong, and just nitpicking at the little things that I can change and get better at.
Yeah.
What, on a serious note though, Justin, I didn't get to ask you this earlier. Well, you said you raced one race last year, first year, and then you jumped over to C 26-25 this year. Mm-hmm. What made you make that jump, go to C class versus maybe trying first year again?
I just thought I could do it. I mean, I did the first year racer and I was mid pack. So I thought, if I'm C class, I could probably at least hang around rear pack or whatnot. And then after that first race, I was able to stay mid pack, and I think it turned out pretty good. So I just had to get in the mindset there where I think I can do this, push myself a bit.
About 90% of the whole game in racing's right between the ears. So you're exactly right. Chris, you didn't race very long, did you?
Nope, I retired pretty early in my career.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, man. I miss it. I miss it. Yeah. I had to hang up the old racing boots to help on the back end. I think it was, for my position at the time, it was important to keep the series going. So I'm glad I stepped behind the scenes.
And I am too. That's why partly why you just got an award this year. Nice award. So, okay, enough compliments for Chris.
I know.
All right, so let's go into our rapid fire. You ready?
I guess.
These are very simple. Well, there's a couple you're going to think about for a second, but for the most part, it's just whatever is on your mind, okay?
Okay.
Dog or cat?
Dog.
Favorite drink?
Red Bull.
Favorite food?
Burgers.
Favorite singer?
Jason Aldean.
How about favorite restaurant?
Jethro's Barbecue in Des Moines.
Nice. Sports team?
The Hawkeyes.
See, you're wrestling, you're Hawkeyes. We're going good. We're going good. Favorite ice cream?
Vanilla.
Nice. If you could have any car, what would it be?
Whew. Some sort of Porsche.
Oh, well, you're doing good here. This is a winner in the rapid fire. Okay, here's a couple to think about, and then we're done. Would you rather have a talking pet or a self-cleaning house?
A self-cleaning house, no doubt about
it. Would you rather fight a giant spider or a giant snake?
Oh, that's a loser. That's a lose-lose question right there, but probably a giant snake.
Don't like either one, huh?
No.
Cool. Justin, that's all the questions, but I'm going to go ahead and just ask you. I know there's got to be some people that's helped you get here and stuff. Just tell us a little bit real quick on yourself. Like, where did you kind of get started on the racing? Did somebody help you? And then, who's helping you get to where you're at right now?
So just my mom and dad helped me a lot. Just motivating me, telling me all the stories they had from when they used to race. And, my dad gave me rides to the races last year and to the first one this year. And, it's just been a blast. And businesses I could thank would be like Bruning Rock Products, Skyline Construction, Bullseye Trucking out of Des Moines. They kind of sponsored me last year for that little stint that I started. So got me some graphics and stickers and paid for some entry fees. So I really appreciated that. So
very cool. So I'm asking you one more question because you've done pretty good on all these questions. Okay. And I think the youth is so important now. We're getting into this stuff. So if you could tell let's say yourself, when you were 10 years old, looking back right now with racing and stuff, what would you tell them as far as getting started, how to do it? What's your recommendation to them?
just try it. You don't know if you're going to be good at it or bad at it unless you just try it. And best piece of advice I've ever been told by my wrestling coach all throughout high school. Everything you do is important, not special. Don't change the way you do something just because you're nervous about it or it's something new. It's just another thing you're doing. It's not special, but it's important to you. So
that's really good advice.
Yeah.
It's really good. That's what I tell Chris all the time. He's special, No, Justin, I think you did really good. If I had to pick a winner so far this year, it'd be you. I mean, you've got the wrestling, you've got the Porsche, you've got, it just keeps going on. The vanilla. I think you've picked really well. You said you like the track over the scoring. I think you've answered about every question, right? So congratulations. If you keep going at things like you do these questions, I think you've got many more podiums, in your near future. So I'm looking forward to seeing you more, and man, great job.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on. So this is really neat. So
cool.
All right. Thanks, Justin.
Yep. Thank you.
Have a good one. That kid's got it going.
Yeah. Very good interview.
Yeah. I got stumped there a few times on some of the kind of silly questions, but some people might watch this and say, man, what's that got to do with anything? It really don't. It just kind of tells you their way of thinking, and gets you to know the person a little bit more, and
yeah,
I thought you did really good.
Yep.
So what's your favorite movie?
Well, I think we have the same favorite movie, but I'm not going to say it.
I got a top 3 that I can't hardly choose between, but if I did, it would probably surprise you.
I don't know if the one's even appropriate. I mean, my top 3 have to be Top Gun, Full Metal Jacket, just because that's family history. Just military wise, a movie. I don't know. Probably one that my boy. Probably you're gonna make fun of me, but it'd probably be like a Toy Story or something else because that brings memories of watching movies with the kids. So
absolutely. No,
Softy.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that at all. So
what would your top 3 be?
I'm gonna surprise you when I say the top one would probably be Vision Quest.
Okay.
But so close it's hard to call. I mean, this is like a question of scoring, have to go back and just double check it, but Top Gun for sure, and then Days of Thunder. So
I forgot Days of Thunder.
Yeah.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
So what, Pretty Woman's probably 4th on your list?
No, that's first on my wife, so it's funny you say that. I get stuck watching that too many times, but
oh
yeah.
Oh man, Days of Thunder. Oh.
So
yeah. So we got a little bit of time here before our second guest goes on. Why don't we just start, talking a little bit. Our first session was the youth. 90 production, 70 production, or what do you call it, a 90 senior class and our 90 youth, or what? Yeah.
Senior
kind of
and
talk
junior.
a little bit about how that session go.
Well, like I said earlier, it all starts at the beginning when we talk about how those kids start, And I'm talking, it used to be you get some jumping here and there. Chris, the first 2 races, the kids have been phenomenal. Nobody's
Yeah.
jumped, even though they're anxious, they're all taking off, the hands on helmets works good. It staggers them just enough, I mean, that one class you said we had 20 some, 27,
Yeah,
29,
27.
something like that. And I can't remember that any of them got even tangled up. If it's a bump or something, they straighten themselves out and they're gone, And I was just so impressed with not just the 90s, but every class that time. I mean, they were getting after it and they just had great starts, and it's I think they kind of respect each other, and it's not a bump and run, it's just good racing and they're starting at a young age. So, you think about it, some of them kids that, a new spectator might be there and said, how old's that kid? He's 8 years old. I can't believe he can do that. Well, some of them 8-year-olds have 4 years experience doing it,
Yeah.
and it's kind of crazy to think about that, but they were just amazing. I mean, I could sit here and talk all night about those youth, but 63 kids in that first session just blew my mind. I mean, it was awesome. It's something we've always wanted, and I'm just so proud of every one of them. They just did really good. But then
I liked how everybody got spread out. Like it wasn't one of those tracks where it would follow the leader. I mean, there was maybe 5, 6 of the younger 90 stock kids that were kind of bunched together. But other than that, it was nice spread out field for the youth classes. So
yeah, and I got to give a shout out to that track crew because, and I'm not talking about myself, Paul Sirk and Big Joe and Brent Benjagurdes and Brad Mathis, Smalley. Them guys went out there and laid down a really, really cool track for the kids. And I had so many kids afterwards, just talking, having fun. And I'd ask them, and so many of them love that course, and something we didn't let Jeff Reavert know when we were up there, the landowner Sports Park Raceway, is he was they won Sports Park Raceway, won the Beth youth class or youth track last year.
Yep.
And we still got to get him that. We forgot to give it to him this weekend, but yeah, I mean, the kids had a great time. They loved it. It seemed like everybody's got their own opinions, but as a majority of them that I talked to said that they really liked that course and just did a great job, and even the little stuff like going over the mulch, most people, when you hear say going over a mulch pile, that's not that big a deal. I sent you that picture earlier of some of them going over them, and they just managed it really, really well. They listened. I don't know if any of the adults heard me say this, but they listened to the people slowing them down. And they did a really good job of getting through there. So it's really cool. I mean, just watching them, we took them around the whole pits this time, which we typically don't always do. We threw them some curveballs back in the timber. The guys laid out, I think it was 4.3 miles they laid out. And that's why you don't see them on top of each other. I thought the guys did a really good job of picking the lanes, picking the hills, and stuff, where to send them. And I think it paid off. It was really good. So I do got to mention, we don't like talking about this all the time, but obviously Raylan Atkinson, she got tossed off the track there and had a couple injuries there, and we want to let them know that we're thinking about her. And I talked to her on Sunday, I think it was. Today's Tuesday, right? Yeah. I think it was Sunday when I got a chance to talk to them, both her mom Courtney and Raylan, and that little girl's tough, and she's real tough. She took a ride and yeah, it just a great family, and she did really good. And what is one of the saddest things is that, man, she was just coming into herself there as far as racing. We seen her pick up her first win. Yeah, seen her pick up her first win last year. I think it was at, if I remember right, Murray. And but man, she's just been a rocket ship ever since, and And hate to see this slow her down, but I'm going to tell you right now, and my gut tells me that's all this is doing, is just kind of slowing that progress down, because I'm sure she'll be right back and right at it as soon as she can. So tough little girl. She did great. Yeah. So, but yeah, and then you got the finishes, and I'll tell you what, the kids are doing a good job of getting back up to the podiums, right afterwards, so we can get those done. I think that's working really well. I wish I could find something to nag at, but I can't. The kids just did a phenomenal job. I want to thank our anonymous donator too, because I know the little Miklas was pretty darn happy to pick up that Pokemon card that was given. We chose second place. He wanted that first one. It was so bad down at Trenton. So we just chose the second place, and he actually got second. And I know he was pretty darn happy. So I want to thank the gentleman that gave that to us to give to the kids. It means a lot to him. And the young man that received it, he was pretty happy. So,
and also cool. We have our first lap leader was selected out of the youth class again this race.
And who was that?
That went to 70 production, first lap leader. It was actually Coulter Smiley.
Oh.
He probably doesn't know that, but yes.
Tell us a little bit about that award.
So it's a new award this year by I'm going to slaughter my numbers. 614 has come forward and graciously donated was it $50 for first lap leader?
Yep.
For 2 classes selected each race. Just happened to be another it was another youth class. And also, what's our other one? A junior was selected for this race. So we'll talk about that later when we talk about the adults. But Coulter was selected as leading the first lap of the race for his class, and he was he'll get that award. Probably get that picture next race with him.
Cool. And just to be clear on that, how do you pick the classes, or how do we pick the classes that get these awards?
It's all random. Like, we've got it set up similar to how Tyloo does it with their classes. It's all pre-selected. So whichever, first lap leader in that class for the rest of the year would get that award.
Gotcha. And it's basically just, I think you're just using one, like say if I race 90 or like at Coulter, so he won it. So that class probably won't get chose again, right? Because it's going to different classes each time. Yep. Okay. Yep. Well, that's really cool. I mean, we got a whole shot of
next race. It's going to actually be a mini. We'll get that award. I just don't want to say what class it is yet.
Cool. Well, I know when I was 4 or 6 or 8, whatever, $50 meant a lot.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And you got another award, right? That was given out this time. We had a little mix up on how we were doing it. So we gave out 2 of them.
Oh, we are talking about the Hoodoo Whole Shot Award.
Yeah. Yep.
Which I believe that is actually in the next one. I think he was from the mini.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Cameron Kettleman won. Actually, he tied the same amount of votes as our Jason Mickelson Spotlight Rider last podcast. So both
Braxton?
of those, Braxton Rhodes. So both of those guys got $50 a piece. No, excuse me, they got $100.
You got $100. I thought you were
$100 for the Hoodoo Whole Shot Award.
I got a minute there I got to admit there for a second. I thought you were skimming some money off the top there.
Gosh, it's a lot. We got a lot of awards this year. Some anonymous, some are stepping up for different things that we haven't usually, spotlighted in the past couple of years.
It's cool too because we've got a hot seat whole shot challenge at the end of the year. That's you qualify throughout the year, but
for adults
in the past, and I'd say most races or series, it's all emphasis on the podium, and thanks to some sponsors stepping up and like Hoodoo and 614 and Jason Mickelson and all these guys. It's just really cool what they're doing. And, and now you got a chance of winning something on the hole shot. You got a chance of winning something by leading the first lap, and several times that's 3 different people, who's on the podium, who's on the hole shot, who's on the first lap leader, so really kind of spreads the love out. I really like it. I think everybody's doing a good job.
Yep.
So, but great finishes, getting up to the awards, getting it. Just seemed like everybody had fun afterwards too. So that was really cool for the youth. So how many do we have in our minis then? 29.
We had 29 this race, but let's go ahead and our second guest is available. We can go ahead and talk with him. Then we need to do a recap on the Jason Mickelson Adult 90 Mini Series event that we had, and then we can jump over into the mini.
Cool.
Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and bring him on. Let's see if we have the drum roll. Oh,
wow!
Fancy. Welcome, Gage.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys.
Did you hear that drum roll, Gage? You actually got it right on cue. That was pretty cool. I'm impressed.
Well, we'll have to fix that in post-production. Yeah, right?
Cool. Oh, Gage, you're actually one of the maybe the first outside of Paul Surgeon. We won't count Paul, but one of the first repeat guests we've had. You were on here last year, one of the first ones, and now here the second race of the year. You're on here for something else, so you must be doing something right.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be on here again. Had some fun last time, and yeah, just thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
It's always fun, Chris. I don't know about you. I know it's always the guys are super respectful and very quiet when they come to scoring. So maybe you don't know this, but he drives a 2-stroke. Just a bad boy Banshee that sounds awesome when he's on the gas. It just sticks out like kind of a turd in a punch bowl, So I know the guys are so respectful of you and they don't wind their motors, anything like that when they're right scoring so you go deaf, but we love to hear that on the track.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of those left, those 2-strokes that, just, man, they sound awesome. I always tell everybody my favorite band is 4-stroke with a little bit of 2-stroke mixed in, and so yeah, it's always cool to see that Banshee out there. It's really cool. So
yeah, no, I love that thing. You just can't beat how they deliver power. I was gonna say handle, but they don't really handle all that great. So.
Yep. So this ain't part of your question, so don't hold me to this, Chris. But what would you say to the guy that's never raced a 2-stroke? Just always, grew up on a 90 to a 300 Honda, to a 400 or 450 and stuff. And it's never, because there's a lot of people now that's never had the joy of grabbing a hold of, a throttle and hanging on when they hit that 2-stroke, So tell us why you recommend someone doing it, or if you do, or, just what to expect when you do something like that.
I'd always recommend trying it out because, I mean, you see people doing it, you got to know what they're going through. My number one thing would be learn how to use your clutch a lot, like coming in and out of corners, because like the Banshees don't have power valves, so it's kind of a light switch. They either have 0 power or everything they have. So you kind of have to, when you get into a corner, kind of get it up in the RPMs and slip it out or dump it, depending on what your traction is. Yeah, I mean, mostly the clutch, especially in the hair scrambles, because you come over so many rough obstacles. You really need to control the power with the clutch, not just using it to shift or to start. Yeah. I mean, obviously they're a blast. Really learn the power on them too before you try to get into anything crazy, because they can get away from you pretty quick if you don't know how to handle it.
Yeah. Now, do you have any other two strokes, or is it just the Banshee?
Right now I have my Banshee, and my dad has his, which he actually raced at Fort Dodge. He did one lap on his.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, he had a ton of fun. He goes, yeah, he said he's definitely going to the next one and going for 2 laps this time.
Very nice. So if you had to pick one two-stroke, what is the holy grail of two strokes if you can grab a hold of one?
This is biased because I'm gonna say Banshee every time, just because I've had them, but I've never really had the privilege of riding like a 250R or Quadzilla or anything. Obviously, the 250R has a pretty big backing. A lot of people run them. There's a couple in the series. They seem to do pretty well. But yeah, my biased opinion would be the Banshee.
Oh, that's cool. I've never ridden a Banshee ever.
Really?
Never ridden a Banshee. I was on a 250R one time, and I thought it was like God's gift to man, because it was like the first one I'd ever driven,
Yeah.
I'll tell you my favorite, and it's probably just because that's what I was on, and none of them was mine. It was a friend of mine's growing up, but a Suzuki 250R. And that was a lot of fun. And I think it was the same individual got a 500, the Quadzilla.
Mm-hmm.
I think I drove that twice, and that was enough. When that thing hits, holy cow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like jumping from a Prius to a Porsche, It's like that big of a deal. So I didn't have I couldn't compare it to a Banshee by no means. That's why I'm just curious on, what you would, but our answers always come from usually what we've driven the most, and stuff. So, but that's cool. We do see Banshees. I think we used to have more of them. I'll bet you there's been less than probably 15, 20 maybe in the 22 years we've done this, so
yeah,
which is one of those things. But you seem to figure it out, man. You're doing really good. So
yeah, thank you. Yeah, I don't know how I figured it out, but I guess riding it a lot. So I bought that like probably 3 years ago now. I bought it right when I graduated high school, and it was a basket case. Everything's been touched by me at one point because it was just sitting in a barn. So, I mean,
it's the best way to learn, though, huh?
Yeah, and then you kind of know what to maintenance, what to look out for. Kind of get a better connection with the machine almost when you're doing it like that compared to just buying it and riding it.
Yeah. No, I respect that. So,
yeah.
Well, Gage, we have have you on here for the Jason Mickelson Century 21 Rider Spotlight.
Yeah.
So we have some questions for you that we're going to pop off, and then we get done with those. We're going to do a fun rapid fire at the end, and time we get done, everybody's going to know exactly who Gage Garrity is and how he thinks about life in general. How's that?
Yeah, it sounds good.
I might be getting too much information. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's what Chris says. So.
Yep.
So go ahead, Chris.
Start with the easy one. Where's home for you? Where do you live?
Dubuque, Iowa.
Okay.
So you're a Wartburg fan, right?
Wartburg.
Yeah.
Wartburg, I think. What is that? I mean, we got a lot of colleges here. We got Loris, UD. What are the other ones? Clark. A lot of colleges around here.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris. I'm just throwing my 2 cents in.
I know. So I know. I get the more technical stuff because last year was your first year racing with us. You raced first year class. You actually ended up winning the championship last year in first year. What made you jump from racing in the first year class to moving on up to the B class?
Just based on like my overall finishes. Towards the end of the year, there I was getting into the 30s, and I was really just looking for more competition. Like I wanted to really work to get to the top. Like really push myself and not kind of, I don't know, be called a sandbagger or whatever. Like I wanted to get faster, and I felt like the only way of doing that was jumping up quite a bit higher to really just throw myself in the deep end.
I'm going to say something on this real quick. I know you get tired of me saying this, Chris, jumping in and getting lost, but anytime I get the opportunity to pat somebody on the back like you, Gage, I'll do it every time, no matter if Chris gets mad at me or not. I'm a big believer in pushing yourself. And if you want to set still, that's where you're going to be, and I can't give you enough props. I don't care if you won last year, if you didn't win, but to take that jump, from first year to a B class, those are seasoned racers and stuff, no matter if you've won or you haven't. I don't care if you're getting 10th every time, that's still challenging yourself to make yourself, and you're only as fast as the guys that you're going to race with. And so I give you huge props. We've got a great group of young kids and young men out there right now that are doing exactly that, that are pushing themselves. And so I give you guys credit every time. I love hearing this stuff when you guys do that. So great job out of you doing that.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Now Chris is lost because I interrupted him again.
Well, I thought you were going to ask a question. So
I can ask a question. I can definitely ask a question. But so how did you get started in racing?
Well, like I said, once I bought my Banshee, I started riding quite a bit, going different places. And I came across your guys' website and looked up some videos of the state fair race, and then kind of just jumped in. Showed up, raced C class, actually won my heat race, and then got tangled up in the main and ended up like 7th or something.
Gotcha. And that was at the state fair?
Yep.
Now, did you know anybody at the time that raced with us, or is just once again just something that you decided you wanted to do?
Yeah, no, didn't know anybody. Just jumped in, wanted to do it.
That's pretty cool. That's really neat. Yeah. I probably put that website together too. You found something that you liked it. Right, Chris?
Yep. You did. You get all the credit.
Chris is learning.
Yep. So Gage, who is like one of your favorite ATV racers, either in the series or maybe nationally?
I'd probably have to say Adam McGill. Just like the vibe that he brings, he has to be the one that has the most fun in the XC1 class. Yeah, just the vibe, how much fun he has. You see the videos where he takes his 250R out and just goes and trail rides or goes races it, like that all seems fun. And, that's what racing's all about at the end of the day.
I'm pretty impressed that you picked Adam, because I do recall Mr. Walker Fowler riding a Banshee at one of the races.
Yeah, he was a close second. I just came across that post a couple months ago, and I think he got second overall at some series.
Yeah, no,
he was a close second.
Adam's a great dude. I think he relates to everybody. Is why he's just real. I love that. So absolutely. So whether it's in racing or something else, if you had to name the number one thing you could think of on your bucket list, what would that be?
Probably skydiving.
Cool.
Yeah, that always just seemed like I don't know. I've heard of people doing it, and they're say you just can't get that feeling doing anything else.
You want to do it this summer?
I don't know about this summer. Now we're pushing it a little bit, maybe a little bit down the road.
See, I'm closer to having to reach my bucket list than you are, so I want to do it too. So that's pretty cool. So what's your favorite movie?
Probably Talladega Nights.
Oh,
Nice, very nice.
Can't go wrong with that one.
no.
No, that's a good one. Yeah. Yep. So if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Probably be able to fly.
Hmm.
No really context to that one. I think that'd just be kind of cool to be able to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Why don't you crack off a couple more, Chris, and then we'll go to our rapid fire.
What's the funniest thing that's happened to you lately?
Oh, lately.
And you can't say go through scoring.
Well, at round 1, I lost my shifter. It was kind of funny after the fact, but not really that funny when it happened.
Yeah.
That's all I can really think of.
Did you find it?
Yeah. It was right after scoring. The bolt was still in it. It just split off the shaft with the bolt in it. So that was a little interesting.
Yeah, there's funny things happen when you're going through scoring, that's for sure.
It's like it's cursed or something.
I didn't say that, but
Wow. Man, we know Team Andy or Team Chris, which team you're on.
you got another one, Chris?
Oh, what's some hobbies that you do outside of racing?
Living on the Mississippi here, we do quite a bit of fishing in the summer. We have some older cars that we work on and mess around with. And also do some mountain biking. With all the hills around here, there's like 4 mountain bike parks in Dubuque. So,
really?
Yeah, get out and do that. I mean, pretty much anything outdoors.
We come over to Dubuque for wrestling all the time. Wartburg has a really good wrestling team. But we come over there, and I'm always amazed, like getting to, where we wrestled the last time is kind of, I'd say west of the downtown. Is it one of the colleges there? Oh my God, there isn't a flat piece there. Everything straight up, straight down. I thought, oh my gosh. So yeah, that'd be a perfect world for mountain biking. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's they're all spread out. And I mean, some of them are even actually, like ski resorts. So you get to actually use their lifts going back up them.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Cool. Well, I think Chris is going to hit you with some rapid fire here.
Yes. So 10 questions, kind of like our normal 10. Just fire them off. Whatever is on your mind here. So, what is your favorite, dog or cat?
What was that?
Do you prefer a dog or a cat?
Dog.
Dog. What's your favorite drink?
Dr. Pepper.
All right. Favorite food?
Burritos.
Whoa. What's your favorite singer?
Leonard Skinner.
Okay. Favorite restaurant?
Chipotle or Pancheros, one of those two.
Goes with the burritos, right?
Yeah.
What's your favorite Wartburg sports team?
I'm gonna go with wrestling.
Favorite ice cream?
Just vanilla.
Okay. If you could have any kind of car, what would it be?
Probably a Pontiac GTO Judge.
What year?
Ooh.
70.
Nice.
Would you rather have a talking pet or a self-cleaning house?
Talking pet.
Oh. And would you rather fight a giant spider or a giant snake?
Giant snake.
Okay, good.
Huh.
Kind of unusual. Just kind of see how you guys answer.
Yeah.
So
Very cool.
yeah.
So really quick, you said you mentioned you kind of mess around with some old cars. Is a GTO one of them?
No, I wish. We're a little more low key than that. I have a 1989 Chevy Caprice station wagon that I bought when I was 14.
Cool.
That's had about 4 different engines in it now. And then my dad has a 77 Buick Regal that is yellow on yellow. Pretty ugly, but pretty cool looking at the same time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Huh.
We
Very
just
cool.
have the unusual stuff around here. We, no 450s, just Banshees and weird cars, nothing cool.
Sticks out though. I like it.
Yeah.
You don't fall into the norm. That's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, cool, Gage. I don't think we mentioned it, but you just won the B class, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
That was your first win in B class too?
Yep. First win and first finish.
And first finish.
Yep.
Well, man, congratulations on that. You're definitely learning the sport very quick. I got to ask you one thing: is you mentioned the first race that you came to was a state fair race.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on like the cross country versus like the short course style?
I mean, it's a totally different animal, each one, because the short course, it's just a 5-lap sprint. You're just doing everything you can to get that over there as fast as you can around that course. Where the hare scramble, you really have to pace and think smart and choose good lines and reduce how much energy you're using. So it's kind of almost the complete opposite. One's a full-on sprint, use everything that you got, then the other one's more of a strategy and more smarts involved in it than just wide open the whole time.
And you enjoy both of them then?
Yeah. Both of them are really fun because, obviously it's fun to do different things and run into different challenges. So have a good time doing both of them.
Very cool. Yeah. If you could give us any piece of advice on anything that we could change, like say in scoring, what would it be?
I don't really think anything. You guys run a pretty good series. You guys have everything pretty organized, and I have fun. I think it's, even for a new person like my first year, everyone was so helpful. So can't really say there's anything I'd change.
Oh.
Cool.
Well, thanks, Gage. I'll have to give you that $20 at the next race.
Just take it off my registration.
I think that was a smart answer. If I'm going to complain about one person, it's not going to be the guy scoring me.
Yeah.
So
we might have a cutout next time I go through or something. You don't know.
That's right. Yeah.
We both better knock on wood.
Well, Gage, I think you did really well, man. You're obviously right up front there in the racing and stuff, but I think the way you carry yourself, and you can see the enjoyment and every time you're there, and and meeting new people and stuff. And I just appreciate you coming on and being a part of the race family. We really enjoy it having you. So
yeah, no, it's been a blast since I joined it. you know, all the people that I've met, all the people in the pits that I talk to, they're really helpful, especially when you're a new person. And yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, what color is your Banshee?
Black and orange.
What color is Wartburg?
I believe black and orange.
I was just curious. I just thought about that. All right. Thanks, Gage.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks,
guys.
Gage.
It's funny how some things work out.
Yeah. So, hey, I got a correction when we were talking earlier. I think we might have used Reagan. Riley is the one that got injured, and I think we were both using Raylan earlier.
Oh, I said Raylan, didn't I? Yes.
Yeah, I think we both said Raylan. So let's just, because I got a question here. So, yes, there was unfortunately Riley that had the accident this past race.
That's right. My bad. I said it, Chris. I said my bad. I didn't even blame
Well,
it.
I just want to make sure that we got it corrected. I know.
Yeah.
We were.
Yep, for sure.
All right. So not only is Jason Mickelson sponsoring our rider spotlights that we are doing now, or starting to do on a podcast, and we'll have we've got some other things in the works. We're trying out and we've been testing some kid-on-kid interviews the last couple of races, so we're hoping to have that ready by this next race. Get some kid interviews completed, so we're not just always talking to adults, because we did think it was a little bit entertaining. Kids asking other kids, not the same questions that we've been asking the adults, but it would be similar questions.
Gotcha.
So the point I was getting at is that transitioning over, or segueing over to the Jason Mickelson Adult 90 mini series. So our first event of the year, the first race, all they had to do was sign up in the series. They got a few points, but this race is we kind of made them do some work. So at the Heartland Challenge area on the track, we had a little mini moto of our 6 participants did a total of 8 laps around the mini moto area. Kind of a short mini hair scramble. So it was entertaining. Got to see a lot of passing going on. Which was funny that the competitors all voted that Jordan Berg had to start backwards. They all started forward, so we made him start backwards.
Oh, he did.
Huh?
He did start backwards this time.
He did start backwards. It was kind of a running joke. They voted on it. He agreed. Started backwards, and he still ended up coming out first place on top. So,
but I was over doing the awards for the 50s, and when you guys got started, when I appreciate you getting that going and getting started on time and everything, and I came over there just in time. I think I seen Carol leading, and then all of a sudden, I think it was the next lap is when Berg and him had a heck of a turn there, coming back towards the crowd and put the pass on. So that was, I got there just in time to see that last pass, but they looked like they're having a blast out there.
Yeah, they all enjoyed it. So quite the entertainment of the day.
And from people I talked to afterwards, sounds like that could be doubling the next race on how many people are doing it. So, yeah, sounds like there's a lot of them that kind of just forgot about it type thing, or, seeing this and it's raising the fun factor, and want to do it. So, looking forward to seeing it the next time. So, they did great. Who's our top 3 in that?
Put me on the spotlight. It was Jordan Berg, Dylan Trigg, and then Jackson Carroll.
Jackson Carroll.
I remember off the top of my head correctly.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was fun. Neat. I liked where you did it, and I liked how you got it going. That was good. So, good job, Chris.
Hold on. So you just gave me another compliment.
Yeah, I'm saying we're not live, are we?
Yeah, but yeah, so after that, we hustled and got ready for the next session, our mini, for all of our minis. So I'll tell you, there's no time to spare between the three events. There, it's back to back to back. So
that's right. It's
quite the challenge for the crew to get everything switched over and make sure that everything goes smooth. But,
yeah, people don't realize the changes in the track. They see me out there talking, or getting ready for a race or starting them, but while we're doing that, the work's being done by the crew out there, switching over the tracks. Because we had a 4.3 mile track for the youth, and then the minis was what? Was it 1.6? Someone said or something.
That's kind of what I heard. 1.5 miles long. So, and it wasn't the same track, or some of it was the same, but also some different
major
portions.
Changes. So, yeah. So, yes, there's a lot going on all at once right there, and we're very, very lucky to have the crew that we do. To, we don't even hardly question. We just wait to hear that it's done, and we know it's ready. So, we're very lucky there. So, but on the 50s, Chris, same way. It's just a younger crowd. Awesome job of the starts. I don't think we hardly had anybody. I don't know if we had anybody this time get off track. I don't think we did.
Yeah, by scoring, we had a couple hiccups. We had to, but they were caught quickly and turned around. So
very nice. Well, once again, I was real impressed with them. They listened to people slowing them down over the mulch pile. We had Dustin and Morgan over there on the motocross track. They stood there the whole time slowing them down, so that there's a couple jumps over there had some lips on them. We just were a little scared about the kids, but they did a great job of slowing them down, and the kids listened real well. And I just thought they did a great job. I mean, that track threw a lot at them, with the open, the tight stuff, the hills, the motocross, and boy, they just did a really good job. And I thought going back to the crew again, way they ran them through the tunnel, on the motocross, I thought that was kind of cool,
something different.
Yeah, exactly. So, for many, many years, that track was not the favorite because it was kind of a raw track, if that makes sense. It was rough, it was tight. It was, we've raced there enough times, and with Jeff Freever, I appreciate what he's done with Sports Park Raceway. And, he's definitely got a vision to be able to allow that motocross to come in like they put in there. And, at the circle track and changes them guys have made up there, it's really paid off in the long run. And now we're seeing it track of the year, by the kids and stuff. And it's been up there for all three of the departments, the adult ATVs and the side-by-sides. And thank them, everybody that had a part of that and allowing us to race there and stuff. And just thought the kids did a great job and took advantage of everything that was thrown at them, so.
And I got to, hand it out to the crew that we struggled like last year. We only see the kids maybe do 1 or 2 laps maybe. And this year it's kind of been got the right mileage in there for the kids. 1.5, 2 miles that they're getting more than a lap. They're able to get 4 laps this race. So
nice.
They're kind of spread out. We've had 29 total, all different experience levels. You could see that when they're coming through scoring. Some were the first race, kind of didn't know where to go, following the leader, and then our 50 production class just kind of showing the way and having their own mini races all throughout the race. So, huge shout out to everybody. Great job. Everybody listened. The only feedback I'd maybe give you is maybe at the driver's meeting, have the parents kind of talk to their kids about what the checkered flag means. We've had, even after the race was over and we tell the kids the race was over, still 2, 3 try to do another lap.
Really? Yeah.
So just educating.
I think what we're seeing there, Chris, is they just like the track. They just want to go do more.
Just go do more. Yeah.
I do see what you're saying, because I remember at least one getting chased down for sure. Tried to go another lap. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's worth noting there. So, cool. We may not have time to cover the whole. We can do some of it next week too for the adults, but
Yeah.
that was a heck of a showing too. 142 riders.
Yeah.
That
Great turnout again. Numbers are up. I think the last race we had 150, 141. Yeah, not bad at all. Turned into a dust bowl.
Yeah, it did.
You could kind of start to see that as the morning went on. The minis were kicking up a little bit of dust, but man, once the adult class took off, you knew it was going to be a dust storm.
Yeah. And we're actually pretty lucky it was what it was, because the week before when I was up there, there was water. They had rain consistent, the week before. They got quite a bit of rain. And I think they only got it one day, maybe this last week, and but yeah, so if it hadn't been for all that, I can only imagine, how bad it would have been. But I thought everybody did a really good job. I was talking to Jordan Berg today about it, and he was telling me that in the timber it wasn't too bad, but he said he thought it got better as the race went on. Kind of it's like we were digging down a little bit, and finding a little moisture in the timber. But yeah, out in the open it was pretty bad, so yep. But
another shout out to the facility running the water trucks, half dozen times at least down pit road.
Yep.
So
I thought they did a really good job there. It's nice having that capabilities.
Yeah.
So yep. But man, every class again was just, it looked really good. The plus 50 class, I forget, I don't have the numbers in front of me here, but there's only one class that I was kind of let down on, to be honest with you. Schoolboy, we know there's not going to be a ton, but one of the C classes I think was pretty light, which really surprised me.
Plus 30. We only had 3 and plus 30.
Okay, that's the one I'm thinking of. Because when I went to start them, I was like, whoa, where's everybody at? So, yeah, so plus 30 would have been what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So, but all the rest of the classes, boy, even, kind of the utility, the fun utility class had great numbers. The open utility, boy, they're right back to where they kind of used to be, when we only had one. I'm so proud of all the guys in there that, they've moved up or stayed in that because they want the competition, and it's pretty cool to see what's that, Mr. Kevin Weedy back.
Yeah,
he's back on top of the podium. It took him a little while to get back there once he came back, but it's kind of knocked all the rust off. And yeah, it's kind of neat to see him out there. And Benji Gertie's, working his butt off the whole week, cutting and laying track out and everything, and had another great race with them and stuff. And I just give them guys props for running to the competition, so that's a tough class. So
and it was pretty good racing. Kevin and Brent were battling back and forth. They had a couple changes. Joey Miklas was right behind them, and then Spencer Modlin was up there for a while. Jared Sheets. So yeah, it's some good battles going on. Mini battles, as I like to call them. Some of the classes, if you look at them all throughout the race, they were, some of them were right behind each other, and that's, you don't think that's much, but God, 2 hours long being right behind another person or somewhat behind them. Yeah, it was good racing again this race.
For sure. And then not to skip over some classes, because like that first year class I mentioned, I think that's one of the most important classes we can have, and it's a heck of a class. The women's class I was real impressed with. That was a nice big class. I want to say like 13, maybe something like that.
12.
12.
Mhm.
God, that was really good. And Chloe Burrows came out on top, and
Yeah.
to see another Burrows there, and on top of the podium, it doesn't surprise you. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We're used to calling that name out over the years, aren't we?
Yeah.
So,
They had also raced Mr. Bradley and Chris Burrows raced AA.
yeah, it's awesome to see them guys in there.
Yep.
Yeah, speaking of AA, man, that was a race. There was a lot of back and forth going on, and trying to think, let's see, at the end, it ended up being third place was Alec Vanderpool out of Indianola.
Yep.
And then second would have been Kyle Jones.
Yep.
And he's in Missouri, right? I can't remember the town he's from. But I see him doing a lot of travel and racing, a lot of different series right now. You can tell he's running really hard. So, and then Jordan Berg. I think Jordan Berg ended up winning. He must have just fell into that groove because I think he ended up having like a 2-minute lead at the end of the day, So it was pretty impressive. He picked up his first win of the year, and he's been doing really good in GNCC, and you can really tell when these guys are doing the travel, and especially in that top group, and putting the time in and just getting in that groove, knocking the rust off and coming back here, and it's like they've got a half a season in already, So yeah, it was a really good race. I think, gosh, what do we have? 17 again in the AA class.
16.
16? Man, that's still very impressive.
Yeah.
So, very impressive.
Yeah, lots of changes. It was back and forth. It was a good one to watch. Kind of, take a step back and look at them. And Jordan was fifth in the woods, first lap fifth, and had to work his way up. And it was just, if you look at the lap times, just how all that class battled it out till the end.
Yep. Another name that stood out to me all day, Chris, is I seen it in the youth, and then I seen it in the afternoon, was Frank's, having the Frank family back, and I think the little one was barely walking the last time they were with us in the series, and Blaine, he was in I think 50s, if I remember right, 50s or 70s, and I think, was he in junior class or schoolboy?
Blaine Franks he's in Young C this year.
Young C, okay, yep. See, he's growing up too fast.
Third in Young C.
Yeah, so that was pretty impressive. So, who ended up winning the Young C this time?
Justin Murphy, our first.
Or I'm saying not Young C, sorry, the Old C.
Oh.
Senior C. Because I thought they were having a good race too, if I remember right.
Irel Kerr.
Kerr, that's right. I knew there was something odd about that.
Oh, yeah. So
nice.
Who was it? Our 614 Motorsports first lap leader for adults was the junior class. First lap leader in the junior class was Sonny Verts. So Mr. Double Duty this year, racing both in the youth and then also in the adult session. So Sonny will be, we'll have his picture taken at the next race, and we'll earn that $50 cash reward.
Very cool. I think I read or heard or something that his mom told him not to hit the jumps. I hope she's not listening right now, because he was flying over there.
That would have been, the motocross would have been probably the spot to sit at. I got to see, out there on Facebook land, Joe Lutz. Did you see the one Joe Lutz passing, jumping? Air Lutz? Is that what you call him now?
Yeah. I don't know. I was over there with a group of people, I think, when I drove through checking on it, and I was scared about how dusty it was. And it was dusty, but we had just enough breeze over there that was kind of, unless a big group came at once, it was actually pretty nice. But I watched Joe battling someone and hit it, and I didn't even know it was Joe. And I'm like, holy cow, somebody sent it. And then he comes around the corner. I see the sparkly 73. I'm like, oh, that's Joe,
That's true.
But I watched him make at least one or two passes in the air,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, he was just looked like he was having a lot of fun, So he's laid some good times down up there at Fort Dodge in the past, and I think that was an extra little challenge for him, with the motocross over there, and something we don't get to see very often. But gosh darn, he was fast in there. So was Sonny, though. Sonny was hauling the mail for that little quad. He was doing really well. So
I know you touched a little bit on the women's class, but man, we've got some, you got our veterans in the class, but you got also the young, we're going to call them the young guns. We've got Summer Akers, Bailey Hawes, Trinity Williams, I can't think of the other ones. Llewellyn, all these young guns. So it's really helping that class out. I think it's kind of giving a little bit more competition to the women's class. Really happy to see that class at 12. And the numbers have been up this year. So
absolutely. Yep. Chloe, I'm not sure how old Chloe is now, but she's got to be 16, 17, maybe, I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Young group in there and really getting mixed up. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We'll have to look at that some more. I know we're getting over time here a little bit.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's a couple other people that we really need to thank up there, Chris. And actually, there's three that I really want to thank. And one, the Georges, for sure. The Georges, boy, it'd almost be tough to do a race up there if it wasn't for the Georges. They helped us a lot before and helping get stuff set up, and then afterwards, they helped tremendously with the cleanup and just getting stuff set up and organized. And we're always just calling to ask one more favor. And I think Kelly's definitely the ringleader over there, So we're glad Kelly keeps the boat, going in the right direction over there. And I enjoyed it. I don't know if you happen to see it, but I got asked to do a haircut on Saturday night. I've never done that before, but I'll tell you the way it turned out. I mean, I think there's going to be more asking me.
I'm not asking you.
Oh, you're not?
No.
I really
nope. I remember an eyebrow maybe getting shaved a little bit once before. You're not touching my hair.
I did mention that to everybody. I'm better at eyebrows than I am haircuts. But yeah, I thought Gil, George, I thought he looked great. It was very unique, and I give him credit. I mean, he really stood out in the crowd. So yeah, but no, definitely thank the Georges, Sean and Mark especially. They kind of go all out and help in any way they can up there, and it definitely doesn't go unnoticed. We really appreciate it. So it means a lot. So yeah. I know we went over. What's that?
Who else do you want to thank?
Oh, that was it. Just three Georges.
There's three Georges. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what you want to get to our last segment? We kind of wrap it up, and we can kind of touch base. I know next time we can go over our Ty Lube Top Gun Award winners on the next podcast. We've got a couple interviews to do from sponsors next podcast, which will be next Tuesday. But yeah, you want to?
That's going to be a good one. I can't wait to hear more about. We got two really cool companies, Chris, that's came on board when we never expected it, and in a big way that's really making the series possible this year.
Yeah.
And with Hoodoo and Power Sports Share, that's two companies I think we could all learn more about, and I think we'll be amazed when we do that, the opportunities and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to next week having both those companies on here to talk to us a little bit about, who they are and what they're doing and where they're going, So what's our last thing you want to talk about?
Well, a popular segment that people have asked and reached out to me is kind of your what's bugging Andy. So,
what's bugging Andy?
Yeah. Do you want to go and transition over to that segment?
Absolutely. Do I gotta get mad? Do I gotta shout? Do I gotta pound? Do you have anything to play for me? Anything like that? Or do you want me just to start going at it?
Here, I'll give you something.
What's bugging Andy? Oh, geez. What's bugging Andy? Yes.
You're looking small up there, though.
That's just fine.
Did you transition to a ladybug?
Yes, there. How's that better?
Sorry. Had to have a little fun.
So this is actually a serious one, Chris. I get excited just getting into this because I'm not excited in a good way. I'm absolutely, when you say what's bugging Andy, 100%, this is what's bugging Andy. Quite frankly, I'm sick of talking about it, to be honest. We talk about it, and I take everybody's time in a pre-race, and we talk about this. And then I see absolutely one of the, if not the dumbest thing I've ever seen. So, yes, I'm getting into it this weekend, Chris.
Okay.
And the fact is that we're all having insurance problems, right? We know we are. We know the sport is an aggressive sport. We know, stuff going on.
Uh-huh.
And everybody wants to blame, whether it be AMA or whether it be the insurance companies. Well, guess what? People need to look in the mirror, Chris. We talk about this all the time with putting these videos out there. And we've seen some ridiculous videos. And I'm not knocking the series by no means, but I don't know if you've seen this video that's going around out there right now. Right after we just got done talking about insurance and all the issues that we have. And people are so silly. They do not realize that these insurance companies have people out there watching these videos. And it's like when you post this stuff, unfortunate stuff that happened, especially the one that was posted on Sunday, I think. Oh my God. I'm not going to even go into detail because I'm not going to fuel the fire for it. But if you want to talk about something that would hurt that series and any other series, it's that video. It's that video right there. And I don't care who you are. I seen a couple businesses share it. And I understand trying to say maybe a safety piece of equipment or something like that might have been helpful. But what you just did was 10 times worse. It was accidents happen. Hindsight's 22. But to advertise that to the world, what happened in that series was absolutely, it wasn't ridiculous. It was plain stupid. And it wasn't the series doing it. It was just somebody that got video, probably not understanding they're probably there for a one day and they're going to hurt the racers and the spectators and the friends and families that like the series. You just can't do that. And someone's got to be the person to step up and say, what in the world are you thinking? Take that down and get rid of it. So I don't know. It's just, please wake up, everybody. Stop posting the videos that are going to hurt the sport that you like. And I'm going to cut it off there before I say something I shouldn't. So Chris.
I'm going to go into detail because I think that there's something, well, I believe it's the video that you shared with me on Sunday. And it has to do with the start of a race, correct?
It does.
Okay. So the background situation, it's out there. I'm not going to link it. I'm not going to do anything because we don't want to support it and give it any more attention than what it already has. But It was a start of a race. Somebody was going around a corner, crashed, flipped the machine sideways. From what I remember, throttle got stuck. Obviously, they weren't wearing a tether or didn't have one attached to the machine. And the machine went on its own. I don't even know the best way to describe it. It was out of control and took out people in the crowd. Right? Let's come sum it up. So, not a good video. People got hurt. Spectators got hurt. Why were spectators so close? I don't know. It's not what we would do in our series.
But hey, we're not here to knock the series at all.
I'm not even saying what the series is. I'm just saying that it was a bad situation.
What happened there could have happened in any series, and I hate to say that. That's why I don't want to go into detail, but you know, we're as guilty as any other series out there on overlooking stuff at certain points, you know, and it just accidents happen every single day, you know. But that's why we run the safety equipment. I can tell you, I don't care if we have to start a half hour late the next race. I'm just going to tell everybody that right now. After that video, we will 100% be checking tethers every single race this next race. It will happen. Nobody will slip through the cracks. We will make sure that everybody is checked. I'm sure that series does the same thing. Has people been light on it? Absolutely, you know, but people that don't think it's a necessity, you know, that's why it is a necessity. But the accident is bad enough, but to play that thing and put it out there in front of people's eyes is just, it was ridiculous. So that's what's bugging Andy, and I'm going to stop right now. But you try telling people, and I think our people's gotten a lot better. We don't see much, you know, that stuff. They're thinking about it, you know, but boy, I don't think people realize that if this happens in Massachusetts, it's going to hurt the people in Iowa. If it happens in Texas, it could hurt the people over in Colorado. You know, it's spreading like wildfire accidentally, you know, or actually, and it's just horrible. I mean, it's going to affect us all 100%. That video will affect us all by being spread around. No doubt about it. If I could ask a favor of anybody that knows those people, even though it's not my series, man, get that taken down. Get it taken down as quick as you can. So, and as we're talking, there's probably 100 people out there right now looking to see what it is. So, thanks to everybody involved, though, man. Chris, there's so many people on the backside, you know, Zach, Sabrina, you know, helping on the backside, you know, all the people out there. That I'm just getting ready to say, the EMS, you know, Fort Dodge. We feel lucky that we have some good EMSs, but Fort Dodge has been put in some bad situations at our races up there and always do a great job. The way they hustle and get to where they need to be and take care of things is nothing less than spectacular. So we definitely thank them guys, all the EMS crew from up there, even the concession stand, you know, everybody up there. It was just a top-notch effort, I think, by everybody. So appreciate everything that went on this weekend. Even scoring, I thought you guys did a mighty fine job.
Thanks.
I'm not going to repeat that.
Good thing it's on video. No, it was good. It was a good weekend. You know, we don't really need to go into the scoring hiccups that we had. We, you know, almost had a printer fly across the racetrack. It was a good thing we test on Friday, and we'll continue to test next Friday as well, or the Friday before the race. So make sure everything goes good on Saturday. And I think overall it did from our view. It was busy, very quick turnaround times. I think as soon as we got the clearance from Brock, who did the sweeping, we had everything printed, and you were able to start awards. So that's kind of what the holdup is. Just because you're done with your race doesn't mean the next guy's done with his. We got to make sure the track is clear, and then we'll start printing and let you do your thing.
Yep. No, that went really well. So definitely want to thank everybody, the racers, the friends, the families. Had a lot of, I didn't get a chance to really talk about it too much. I know we're about out of time, but we got a chance to talk to a couple families there that really put on a really neat display. I would say large families, but the Gasing family, they are the ones walking around with all the really cool shirts that was made. There must have been 20, 30 of them in the family. Just walking around with black shirts and everything. We got a chance to talk to them afterwards, and they're from all over around Bondurant to Northwest Iowa and stuff. And it's just cool seeing that large supportive family come together. I think there was 2 racers amongst all of them, some youth racers. So that was really cool. And then the Hilgenberg families, we got to talk to all them, the boy just got done. I think it's Hayes, if I remember right, was his first name. But just really neat. And you see the effort and the families getting together afterwards and stuff. And they're out there on Facebook Live. We just did some talking to them, and just had a really good time. But outside of that, really want to thank all the extra support. We had Akers was out there helping us. Jerry Beating was out there helping us. The Dalton boys were out there down the bottom. They really helped out a lot. Morgan and I lost the name there. Is it Dustin?
Dustin.
Yep. So just a lot of people. I know there's more that we can't, but all the parents were out there helping and everything. I was real impressed with a lot of people this weekend, and definitely doesn't go unnoticed. We thank everybody. So
yes, it does. It takes a village. Nobody understands that to keep it going.
Yep. So I know we had to hurry through the adults, but we'll get some of that next week. And then I'm real excited, like I said, to get those 2 companies. I think people are going to learn a lot about the companies that are really making this year possible. So excited about it.
Well, we got turnaround for next race is a week from this coming up weekend. So we're going to switch. We kind of migrated from Wednesdays to Tuesdays, kind of helped me with my schedule a little bit with kids' activities. But I think it also gives us an opportunity because otherwise we wouldn't have a podcast next week. So that's kind of helping us out. Maybe we'll stick with Tuesdays for the rest of the year just to see how things go. But yeah, it'll be a pretty packed podcast next week with the sponsors kind of wrapping up round 1 and then getting right into preview of round 3 already. Wow.
Yeah, we'll have a big preview for that next week also. The crew's going down Saturday and Sunday, and that should be ready to go. So looking forward to being down there. Cool.
Okay. Lots to talk about.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Chris.
All right. Well, thanks for those that are stuck around, and hopefully good podcasts. Always open to feedback. Let Andy know. All right, buddy. We'll see you next one.
See ya.